that time of day. It is 4 o'clock Thursday. We're here every week at 4 o'clock Thursday to talk about OTC and penny stocks. Not just what we want to talk about, what you guys want to talk about. So as soon as you get here, I know it's 4 o'clock. As soon as you get here, throw something up there. Say hi to us. Tell us the ticker. Feel free to interrupt. I won't stop until you do. Speaking of interrupt.
How you doing, John?
Hey, Lily.
I'm doing good. How are you? Good.
Great to see you. It's been so busy this week. You and I haven't even had a whole lot of time to touch base this week.
We haven't. And it has been busy. Like I've been busy just figuring out the market and what it's doing. And we'll get into that.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on with the Feds. The OTC has actually been getting slower, if you can imagine that.
It's the same on the other side.
Same money. Right. And to be honest, I am in the midst of moving right now. So soon the background's going to change. So hopefully you haven't gotten attached to that. I haven't had a whole lot of time to really study all the markets. So I've only been focused in on the OTC, and I've lost track with the big markets right now. Not that I play them a lot, but that's where the penny stocks are at. And I haven't even been looking at the penny stocks that much, just been focused on the OTC. So I'm going to count on your wisdom and knowledge on that topic this week.
I give it to you. No problem.
Good to see you here. Hi. Look at that. 1 minute after. He was quick. Hey, let me throw up some news.
Yeah, let's do that.
Folks, this is news. I don't want you to just overlook this. This is really important. There's at least 15 acquisitions in here, 6 joint ventures. Man, there's lots of juicy news. There's no financial reports or public offerings. This is the stuff you're looking for when you go hunting through the news. And if you don't hunt through the news, that's why I've done it for you. Let me get this up. Cross your eyes, folks. Whoop. Boink. All right. And, look at that. It was perfect timing. Perfect.
Timing. Oh, like, are you the wizard?
I is the wizard. Can't you tell? I am trying to get the beard to flow into the hair. That's the first sign of a true wizard. You can't see where one ends and the other begins.
John, we got to braid it.
Yeah. What are those things you do with your hair and you don't wash your hair for a long time?
That's the dreadlocks.
Dreadlocks. That's what I need.
Do that too.
Dreadlock.
Nothing wrong with that. So does anything catch your eye this week, John? Anything that's on this news? It's like, yep, we need to be checking into that. Anything?
Oh boy, just looking at things are probably going to pop up because I do read every single one of these. I just don't grab the headline. I want to know if it's going to run. So I've been reading a lot of this, and when you do read a lot of it, unless you got a photographic memory, you forget half of what you've read if you're lucky. Well, there have been lots of deals going on here. KG right here. Kona Gold Beverages has just signed 3 more distribution partners, Oregon, Washington, and Alaska. KG is one of the hardest working companies I've ever seen for distributorships. In 2019, they must have had 110 distributorships. I mean, every other day they got another distributorship. That's when they were Kona Gold. CBD became a problem. They just kind of avoided, went over to Oola Lemonade, and they've got it in Walmarts. They've got it in all sorts of big stores and all kinds of little stores. So KG, it's been a stock a lot of people have loved through the years, but it hasn't gone a whole lot. Let's see here. There's another one I was watching today, Bleg, Branded Legacy, which is a cannabis company doing very well, and Apple Rush. Apple Rush makes different types of beverages, including hard beverages, and they've partnered today. I was not seeing any jumping around on the charts about it. It's a little weird, but those are 2 I looked at today. Over the week, I've seen a lot of stocks that have caught my eye. We talk about most of them in my videos, and I don't want to bore everybody by going over it. But I'll tell you the one stock that caught my attention that made no sense. It was a warrant yesterday. And I know how you like to play warrants, Lily.
I do.
This was on a SPAC called IPOF. IPOF's warrant, put a W on it. They had news come out yesterday. It was a filing, actually, and it was not good news. It was bad news, and the warrant went crazy. Now, of course, the stock didn't move because it was a SPAC that had not yet closed the deal. So it was still at $10.
Yeah.
Well, I told everybody the problem with this is that SPACs have a time limit to make a deal. They come on the market, they got 18 to 24 months. And most people don't know this, but if they don't cut a deal, if you are holding shares of their stock, you get your money back. It's the only place on the market you get your money back if they don't cut a deal. You do miss out on a little itty bitty bit. It's not much. Like there's $1.1 billion coming back to the people of IPOFW or IPOF. There's $1.1 billion in the trust fund coming back. They've got to take out $100,000 to cover interest and banking fees.
So you're saying the IPOF failed to acquire somebody? And that's a Chalmers SPAC. That was like IPOD, IPOC. He had a bunch of them. So IPOF is also Chalmers SPAC. And I was watching it from a couple of years ago.
I
didn't know they didn't acquire though.
The warrant dropped. Even the warrant went to the pink. The warrant dropped from the New York Stock Exchange down to the pink yesterday. It fell from 62 cents to 0003. 300,000%. So yesterday it started off at 0003 and went to 009. Now I calculate that as 3,000% gains. They never showed more than 378. In either case, they say right in the filing, all warrants will be considered worthless. There's no money coming back. And they tell you that after October 17th, they're dead. That's when the end of the redeeming is complete. So why would the warrant run? What sort of idiot would get into a warrant that's going to disappear in 2 weeks?
I mean, it could be the fact that they just don't know. They're not educated. You got to think there's a lot of people out there that say, oh, goody, and they run it. There might be bigger money that's actually depending on that. So they can sell to the retail investor that doesn't know. So
or
any type
just
of
could
warrant,
be technical players. People saw it running and just got in on technicals.
In and out. But that warrant is, if anybody was in it at the 7 cents before it went down, or if they were in it 30 cents hoping it would come back up, they've lost all that money. It's not coming back.
But it was a lesson. It was a lesson that just because something's going crazy and making gains doesn't mean it's good news necessarily. As you said, people may not have read it, understand it. It just could be running on technicals, which is still going against the current because it's going to be worthless. So as I said in my video, if you're going to play this, be in and out in one day. Don't be, and it could drop just as fast. It dropped 300,000% in one day. How fast do you think that was falling? Woo!
Exactly. So I don't recommend doing anything like that. If something like that drops to the OTC, I'd leave it alone. Leave it alone. Anyway, I wanted to show you that Snookeroo said, John, thanks for working so hard for all of us. It's very much appreciated.
I appreciate you guys being here. I honestly do. It's fun to share. I'm a single man. I don't have a wife or kids around, to pamper. So you're my pamper agent. So I appreciate you being here. I need someone to give to. So thank you.
We had a latecomer. Larry was asking what you were saying about KGKG. We just want to visit that real quick. Just real quick before we move on. Looks like he might be in some trouble with that one. And from what I know, Larry, John was just going over the news that he was showing a few minutes ago that they were acquiring or they were making acquisitions in Oregon. Were they partnering with Oregon and Alaska?
3 new distribution agreements.
There you go.
And if you know anything about KG, Larry, this company works hard on distribution. They were strictly a CBD drink back when back when the hemp bill got passed. And the very next day after the hemp bill got passed, the FDA came out and said, whoa, hold your britches, you CBD companies. We're not going to let you go enriching all of our foods. It was just passed as a drug for epilepsy. If it's a drug, how can we possibly let you just go dosing our foods with it? We got to do tests. That is when KG stopped their CBD drinks, and they kind of disappeared for a while. And up to that point, they were the hardest working company I ever seen for distribution. I used to post the news. There was 100 pieces of news in a few months of them getting new places to put their drinks. Now it's Oolah Lemonade. They're in Walmart. They're in a lot of stores. Yeah, it's down right now. A lot of stocks are down. Folks, did you know Let's see. No, that can't be right. Yesterday was the second lowest day on the OTC market in the year. It was the second worst day in the entire year for dollars, for trades, and for volume. We were at 1.2 on volume, 1.2 billion.
That's awful.
Oh my God, it's anemic. It really was. And I can see that when I'm at my favorite page following trades. Today, we got a couple companies. As a matter of fact, which one was it? Somebody got 4,000 trades today. I think it was GTVI. I think GTVI got over 4,000 trades. That's what we were doing. You'd have a couple stocks every day do a few thousand. Yesterday, I was having a hard time finding anyone doing a few hundred. It was really bleak yesterday. So the markets are slowing down, and I don't know if it's about war, inflation. Actually, I do. I think it's inflation. You don't have money to spend on food. You don't have money to spend on stocks, regardless if it's a great price. I see a lot of great prices. I'm just a little tight right now.
Well, if you don't mind, John, let's go ahead and discuss that real quick, because we've had some members and some followers that's asked about that. You know, what's the conditions in the market? What do we see coming?
Yeah, sure.
I'll discuss it, and then we'll go over. I already see some tickers in there. Let me see. One of them was SGMD. Mario, we'll get to you. We'll get to you. And anybody else, go ahead and put them in the comments, and we'll get to them really soon. So, you guys, we just want to go over what happened this week with the Fed meeting. So, the Fed they did the rate hike this week for 0.75. Some were anticipating maybe a full point, and I think some people kind of wish they would have. But they just did 0.75. That's kind of what I've anticipated.
It's what most people anticipated, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was like an 80% that they were pretty sure it's 0.75. And once we got that in the market, of course, when Powell was speaking, it went up. And so we had a little bit of a bull trap there, and then it gave it all back. And then today it's, still bleeding down, finding a new low on the SPY. We can expect this for a while. Now, we may start rallying again. Any bear market has rallies, and we've already been through two really good ones that's really pushed up. True. And this last one was significant, and that's common to happen. So I look for us to keep coming down. We may start coming back up, but we'll stay in the channel. We've already broke back into the channel on the SPY, which is the downtrend. We broke back into it today. So it's going to be harder for it to come out of that, and nothing's changed. So when it comes to inflation, our numbers were not good. They don't look for the housing numbers and shelter numbers to come down for quite some time. And the Fed is doing what they have to do to get inflation under control. And if they don't, families like ours or normal people, all us normal folks out there are going to suffer from this.
And the truth of the matter is, this is new. What's happening? They don't have experience with this sort of inflation economic crisis. There are new factors involved. So it is a trial and error for them. So I wouldn't expect a soft landing. So I would expect things to get worse before they get better.
They're going to, and they also have to be futuristic with their numbers. They have to kind of predict what's happening in 3 and 6 months from now. So they may not get it right. We're going to have to give them some grace there, but they are trying. But I look for us to, like in 2023, I look for us to still have some hardships in the market. So y'all need to be prepared for that. Adjust your trading plans for that. And any of your bigger cap stocks that you're following that you really find value in, like Google, Amazon, stuff like that, now's the time to start looking at them and analyzing them and taking these long holds and maybe doing some dollar cost averaging. Google went down into the 90s today. It's the first time it's hit that since the split. That's the lowest number it's had all year. Adjusted, it was probably around 2,000 or 1,800, something like that. If we
see what a split will do for you. Woo, bro.
Yeah, it's opportunity. Yeah, it's opportunity. I would love to see Amazon at like $86 to $92. I would love to see that. But I don't know if we're going to get that on Amazon, but Google was definitely given some opportunity. And we may see even lower. I can't tell you what the bottom's going to be. I can't tell you if Google hits 83, load the boat. I can't say that.
No.
Because we don't know how long this is going to go. And Powell's already said it's going to be drawn out and it's going to be painful. I listened to that meeting yesterday, and I don't know how many times that man said painful. So it's just letting y'all know to be realistic. That's what I want you to know. If you're taking trades or if you find something with momentum, take your gains. Take your gains and let's watch it go back into the downtrend and maybe re-enter at a later time. But with the bigger caps, I think it's a good time to start dollar cost averaging, buy 1 or 2 a month, whatever your allowance is for your budget. Buy in monthly, buy in weekly, however it is for you, work that out and have a plan. So whenever we do start reversing and going back into the bull market, this will not last forever, you guys. It will come back. You'll be in a good spot. So I just wanted to kind of go over that with y'all. If you have any questions specific to anything like that, just let me know. One thing to kind of keep an eye on is your yield rates on your 2-year, your 10-year. If those are trending up, our markets are coming down. And until the Fed starts turning on the printers and cutting the rate hikes and starts turning on and printing money again to stimulate the economy, we're going to keep doing this. So right now, they do not want to stimulate the economy. They want you to spend all the money you've saved, and they're trying to deflate. And so eventually our labor markets are going to be affected by this. This is all part of it. It's economics, you guys. So, and the supplies are still an issue right now. And the cost of everything is there's a lot of issues.
More of an issue.
Yes. So budget accordingly, you guys, and let's rough it out together. But we're going to get there. I know I'm not going to give up on trading. So and there's money to be made every day. There's something going. You know, there's some tickers that you can get some play into. Just don't think it's going to go to the moon because we have some downside to see. Anyway, we can go ahead and get some of those tickers now, John, if you want to.
Fantastic. Hopefully we scratch that itch. I can't remember who was asking about the economics, and I needed to hear it because I've actually been out of touch. So thank you, Lily. You kind of
I know it every week. I'm on top of that.
Yeah, we had to give your own segment here with a nice headline and your own music.
That'll work.
All right, so let's take a look at Mario's Sugar Made here. This is a cannabis company. Their most recent news and their most recent filing are about the same thing. August 22nd, Sugar Made Inc. Entered a management service agreement between Sugar Rush Inc., which is one of their subsidiaries, and Candice Inc. So they've actually got some deal going on right now. We haven't done any homework on this, so we can't say much about it. Share structure. Now, I know Sugar Made is...
Oh, my gosh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is. I think I actually hold Sugar Made. I get Sugar Made confused with another one that Reddit's always talking about. Theirs is better. Yeah, this one has, yeah, right. Yeah, this is the one I own. I've owned this for quite a long time, way back. Cannabis is what I originally got into when I first started trading, and I did not diversify. So the first 18, 20 months of trading, 100% cannabis. That's all I looked at. So I remember a lot of these companies, and this one has obviously had a hard time for a long time. But one of the good things is when you do see other companies aligning themselves with the company, that gives some credibility to them. So if they're just standing there alone and nobody wants to do business with them, yeah, that's fearful. But we just seen Candice is getting into business with them, and there may be more going on. I know I hold it, but I haven't been monitoring it since the price isn't getting out of the triple zeros. Let me see. Is there anything else? Financials. I don't see Shell Company here. All right. Now, see, folks, this is what I'm talking about. This company is at triple zero, but it's making millions of dollars. Most cannabis companies are. Now, this is on the low end. Most cannabis companies are doing tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars a quarter. We're not talking yearly. We're talking quarterly. But of course, they don't get to keep a lot of it because most of these cannabis companies in America have to pay extravagant taxes because they get no tax breaks. And once the laws change, just imagine what the bottom line is going to be like when they get tax breaks and they're doing hundreds of millions a quarter and they can deduct all their expenses now. That's going to change the game. So this company is doing between 3 and 4 million yearly, and quarterly, 1.2 million a quarter. So it's not like they're hard up. They are in business. Let's go check out their chart then.
Yeah, let's go look at, oh, it's barcoding.
No. That's HCVW. You got me putting an H in there. Poink. Yeah,
See,
yeah, it is going to barcode. I forgot what
it's
we're
real
talking
low.
about. 0002. Yeah, it's going to barcode.
Yeah.
If you see a 0002 that's actually got bounces, that's not just one digit, I'll be impressed. Because these just go from 2 to 3, back to 2, up to 3, back to 2. And it'll do that for freaking a long time. It'll
Yeah.
do that for a while. I'm going back, let's look 4 hours. So that did that for a month and a half. That's probably 2 months. She was up here 6 months ago. She did hit 0012. So she is quite a ways down from that, about 900% down. Technicals don't show that she's going to do anything. You can see she's being traded every day, but she's getting no price action. There's no excitement. And it doesn't look like that news that came out, I think it was 827 or something like that. Doesn't look like that got any real punch here either. It's probably one of these bars.
Well, I can see, John, that
Yeah.
in February of 2021, which was the height of OTC, that it spiked to like 20 cents.
That I am not
Or
surprised
maybe it's,
with.
I'm sorry, it's 2 cents, but still, that was a major spike there. And that's when that was the glory days of the OTC, you guys.
Okay, this was back in 2019. This is back when I was holding it, back when it looked like it was going to be doing something. Fell down, has just been down here forever. And that humongous giant jump right there is the stimulus month of February 2021. This is when the OTC was king of the market.
Yes,
I was doing 3,000% of gains every week. It was the stocks that were dead were walking. Stocks that hadn't moved in 2 years were coming out of the grave with wings like Red Bull. It was unbelievable. And then it stopped. And I was in the game picking everything up at 001 because as soon as it hit 002, I had doubled my money, but it wasn't stopping at 002. They were just going. So I was just rolling them over. And then when it stopped, I was holding a whole bunch of them. And they didn't move ever since then. So yeah, I really enjoyed the game, but I got left holding a whole bunch of bags because I had no idea when the merry-go-round was going to stop. I got stuck up there. I'm still waiting to get back.
Sometimes it'll throw you off. But I do see that Mario is saying something about SGMD as a long-term play, possibly a Hail Mary play. And if you want to do something like that, treat it like a lotto. So no more than your grocery money. You know, if you're going to do that, but going long in the OTC, especially right now, is really hard.
I mean, you're right. The cannabis market is a long hold. U.S. companies are a long hold. There's a lot of catalysts there. And this stock is at a great, great, great price. But as Lily noticed immediately, it's got too many bloody shares, which screams reverse split. Yeah. So you go banging into this thing, taking $50 out of every paycheck for the next year, and you end up with just 5 million shares. And then they come along and take 4 million of them. You're going to be upset. So you got to be real cautious about long holds on super sub penny stocks because you can lose as much as you thought you were going to gain in a reverse split because it'll fall. A lot of people like you will get upset and you'll say, screw this, and you're going to sell off and it'll come right back down to where it was before the split. And that's a double loss.
And your average will be terrible. So I recommend just playing the momentum when you find it in these types of stocks on the OTC markets. That's what I do, in and out. Also, before we move along, I do want to address something that KB said. I think she was, he or she, sorry, was commenting about the dreadlocks. I didn't, nothing to be offensive. I am so sorry if it was taken that way. I just wanted John to have a makeover. And to be honest, I think dreads or braids, I think they're beautiful. You know, so I do it.
Lipstick on a pig. Fantastic.
I would love to see John do something like that. But you're right. They are high maintenance and hard to take care of. Anyway, we're going to move along.
So it's just everybody I've met told me that they wash their hair not so often because it takes a long time to dry and blah, blah, blah. So I meant no offense. It's my ignorance. Okay. It's my ignorance. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's what love is. Taking the bad with the good. I do have some bad. All right. We got Jesse Ganza. He's interested in NNRX. Yes, I think NNRX might have even been in the news that we were running. If you missed the beginning of our show, I run news news I've looked at from the OTC market, a couple penny stocks off the major exchanges. No financials, no public offerings. It's the juicy stuff. And there are at least 15 acquisitions, a half a dozen joint ventures in there. So if you don't have time to go through all that news, go back to the beginning of the show after it's over and just watch the news. Take some notes. There's lots of good news in here. It's just for the last 4 days. All right, NNRX. Let's just start with the chart since we are here. We got another 000. Egads. 0003. Let's go back 4 hours. See how long. Ooh. All right, she had some good, strong push
Look
back
at that.
here. That was in March of this year. I don't know what was going on, but she did get herself, well, she was right here at the same price she's at right now. So that is about 250% jump she had back there. Gave it all back up, hit the floor there, cracked her toe, and right now she's hanging loose. Is there anything going on with this? Which one are we looking at? NNRX. Let's just come over here, see what we can find. I know there's been some news here recently. Nutrinomics. All right, looking at their financials. Nothing annually for the last 2 years. Hopefully they're doing something quarterly. Just got into business. Just started making revenue, which is probably why it jumped just a little while ago. They finally had some money come in on the board. Let's see what we got for share structure. Oh, goodness.
Is it big?
15 billion.
Oh,
my God.
and authorized 60 billion. Ouch.
Yeah, that's a lot of shares. I mean, I really don't mind seeing a high authorized because you can think of that as a bank account. If you don't have money, you can use your shares to entice a business deal. Just give them 10 million shares or whatever, and you can own the business. As a matter of fact, that is the only way cannabis companies survive. They could get no loans. They didn't have money. So everybody just started giving shares away to everybody. And we ended up with these humongous share counts in the cannabis. And we did it without banking. You don't need banking. Look how far we've come without it, but it would sure make things easier. News. Let's see if we got anything kicking over here. We do. We got news that came out 2 days ago. Nutrinomics announces debt restructuring a new credit facility, which is always good. You know, this isn't the kind of news that normally gets a stock running, but it's a type of news that gives the stock value. It's a shame it gets overlooked as often as it does. So we haven't jumped into that, but they're obviously taking care of their debt and getting more money coming in. Cash flow. Most people don't pay attention to cash flow when they're looking at details. You want to see how you don't want them pooling money up. It's not great to have a ton of money sitting in the bank. It needs to be working for you. It needs to be moving. You want to see the money come into the company and go back out. Cash flow. You want to see how much of that's moving. You see one that's moving and generating more and more growth. That's a company working. 9/12 was their last one. Nutrinomics, the plant announces distribution expansion in North Carolina. Record bookings here in August. Looks like they're doing pretty good. They've got a lot of news here. They got a lot of things they're doing, working with a lot of different companies, making more money. Right there, 164% year-over-year growth, 3 months ended. So the thing I hate to say over and over, we're looking at decent companies, KG, NNRX, Sugar Made. These companies are making money. They've got products. They're out there doing business. There's just not a lot of money to go around right now on the market. I mean, what do we do today? $1.6 billion for 12,500 shares. They had to divide it up. And I'll tell you right now, the biggest trades are the Bitcoin and the Ethereum stocks. Those are the biggest traders across the market on the OTC every single day. Every single day, they get a very strong amount of it. And what's left over goes to everybody else. And there's not much here. Look at that. 5.6 billion shares. Oh, my God. It was at 6.6 yesterday. Honestly, folks, I think I got to go back now. Back in February, we were doing like 80 billion shares in a day. And then when the February fell away, we were hovering around 50, 60 billion shares a day. And then it just started falling. And ever since February, the stimulus month, it has been downhill. And this is where we're at right now. 5.6. You can think of this as a 0003. That's what that is in share count. That's a 0003 on the price chart. It's down there on the floor. It's very, very sad. So you got great companies that just don't have any money coming in because there's no money to give them. We're all tight right now. You know, I really think inflation is going to be the backbreaker for the market, not the war. I mean, you know, when a war comes, somebody's profiting. Somebody, whenever a problem comes, there's always somebody somewhere making out on it. Well, inflation, I don't know who the hell makes out on inflation. Everybody's losing money. Everybody has to stop spending money as much as they were, which means everybody else isn't making as much money. I mean, it's a domino effect. And the dominoes are still falling. So I don't think it's a bad company. I think NNRX is a good company. Just from what I see here, they're busy. I would look at the management. Last thing we haven't looked at, check out their bios. You can get some information at the SEC or their site about them. If you feel good about him, is he got experience? Does he know the sector? Has he got an education, some degrees? Has he worked with other companies and pushed them up the ladder of success? Check that out. Get a little bit of security inside for yourself. Don't let the chart be the only thing that drives your interest in it. They're low right now. Lots of great stocks are low right now.
They probably got some more to come. Anyway, Jesse also wanted us to look at ZICX.
Oh, there's one I don't have off the top of my head. Now, folks, we do look at penny stocks too. So if you're looking at a stock under $5, doesn't matter if it's on the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange. I love those stocks because they're free to trade. I can buy one share when I see the price go up, one share, and I can push that price up. And my 1,000 just went up the whole thing. So I didn't care if I paid $1 more for it. I just made all my shares go up $1 more. And it didn't cost me anything to do it. What do we got? ZICX, ZICX Corporation. News a couple weeks ago, ZICX and ZTIP and FITI. What are these, Japanese words? Update stockholders on projects ongoing. And the news before that was receives award from Liberia's Ministry of Public Works for road project. Working in Senegal for hospital project. Okay, where's this company from? Let's see here. Would you believe Nevada? Nevada.
I was thought you would say Israel or something.
That's what I was thinking. This is a country outside of ours. They're in the healthcare industry, but they're working on road structure. I'm really confused now. Let's see what their share.
Maybe it was a shell at one point, and they haven't changed the name yet.
That's possible.
Weird.
We got 500,000 shares roughly back in the real world. I mean, that's not a great share count, but it's a hell of a lot better than 15 billion. ZICX making any money over here. The only thing we got on the books is 2008. Notice we don't have any zeros, dashes, nothing. And you have nothing down here. A lot of times this might be blank, but you still have expenditures. They don't even have expenditures. So I don't know why it doesn't say Shell Risk or Shell Company. Doesn't look like anything's coming in. Let's check quarterly. There may be something. Shoot, 2019. This is looking a little bleak. Let's see what their filings look like. You can tell a lot about a company by looking at their filings. We do have some filings here. I have no idea what a 25.3G. Is this an uplist one? Public share offering, 500. They want to sell another 500 million shares on the public market. Egads.
When did that come out?
This came out, I think, last month. No. That was 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Huh. And it may not be done yet. It may not be done. There's a lot of these public offerings. They go until they're done, until they sell them all. And
it hit a new low today. So that's why I was wondering, when did it come out, that news?
I've seen these things end in a few days, and I've seen them take 1.5 years to end. And you know what's funny? A lot of stocks pop after the public offering ends. It's like, finally, because they do get all this money. The company gets a bunch of money from selling those shares. So they're now holding cash. They got something in the coffers. Was there anything else to look at here? Well, what's the price? Well, we are above 000. That's something to consider.
Yeah, but that low that was hit today was the low I've seen for the last 3 years.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, now, Now, the stock hasn't got a big price. I don't know. It doesn't look like it has a whole lot of value. Really need to jump into a disclosure or a 10K and get as much information out of there as you can about what they're doing. Probably is going to say no operations, but somewhere in there to tell you their intentions. But a low bubble, a long low bubble, 52-week, 156-week, those type of low bubbles you can see. Not all the time, only if the company has value in it. People buy up a bargain. That's a flashing for sale sign. For those of you as old as me, it's a blue light special. Look it up. So when you see a low bubble that low, there is a very good likelihood that you can get a good bounce, not just to the left, a good bounce off of it. Short-lived as it probably is going to be, it will come up off the floor. So at least it's worth watching. Is it worth investing in? Again, I don't know enough about this company, but from what I've seen, they don't have a whole heck of a lot going on right now. No value, no revenues. A company on the market without revenues isn't anything. It should be an opportunity in the waiting. If they're not doing any business, they should be looking for a deal. They should be looking for an acquisition. That's what the management should be doing. And if they're not, you shouldn't even be looking at it. Really, there's enough stocks that are doing something. You don't need to waste your time on a sleeping or dead horse.
That's right. That's right. Your money can be working.
Absolutely. All right. So she hit that low bubble today, bounced off it pretty bloody quick, came up from 0017 to 009, finished at what? 008? No, 0019. So she's just a wee bit above it, not much, but she
that's about where it holds the point, 0019 area. So it might not have much more to give you. Especially in this market with this volume, there's not much going on right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If a stock hasn't got a catalyst with as little volume as we have, it's going to be the stocks that have catalysts that run. As I show people all the time, I'm going to show everyone here because you should be coming over here multiple times a day, folks. If you're looking for trades, if you're wanting to know what stock is hot and you're going over to Twitter, it can be tough. If you don't know what you're looking for, it's difficult. And keywords for runners are very difficult. I can see lots of stuff by chance, but to actually find what's running on Twitter is difficult. Investor Hub is good. You can go to their leaderboards, stocks that have the most posts or the most comments. You can see who's doing the most buzzing. But I just come over here to the advances right here in the current markets. I go for all of them. I love those sub penny stocks. Click this more button and the whole page becomes the advancers. And this is at the top, the biggest one. All your double diamonds here are expert markets, so don't even worry about those. But then you got stocks up here like that. That's a pink. That did 9,000%. It must have just come off because that's 2 zeros that lost. So it was at 5 zeros. But what I am looking at is this column over here. That's the only column I'm really interested in. Yes, I am about volume and the change, but I want to see shares, number of trades. And as you can see, these are low. All of these are low. 23 is not a big number. 20, 58, 50 is my floor. 50 is where I start to consider the stock. Unless I'm looking at it at 10:30 in the morning, there may only be 11 or 23. Well, when everyone else has only got 1, 2, and 3 trades, that could be the start of a run in the day. Now, this only comes up around 5 minutes to 10. There's a 15-minute delay. So by the time you get here, the stocks have already run. You're not going to find your morning run here. That 9:30 to 10 o'clock, hopefully you're just watching the market. You're going through your scans. Don't feel like it's a race, folks. I felt like that for so long. When the bell went off, I felt like I had to find something. I had to get into something. I was missing out if I wasn't. No, that's when you're going to make your mistakes. Calm down. Let the bell ring and come over here 5 minutes later. Just relax.
I was muted.
Yeah.
I was trying to, that's the riskiest time. When that bell goes off, that is the riskiest time to be trading.
Yeah, if you don't have a place you know you're going to jump to, like lily pads going by on a river, you better have your eye on it before it gets to you. And that's why we're here early in the morning. We're watching the scans. We're watching the volume. They won't tell you the percentage gain on a lot of them, but they'll tell you volume. You can see who's moving and look at the chart yourself. But I come over here after that first half hour and look at this one here. 5,370 trades. There is nobody else even comparing to that, is there?
Significant.
That stands out. So You've got to stop and go do research. Now, here's the bloody crazy part. I did. Of course I did. First place I went was here. No news. Filings, of course. No filings. All right. Twitter's going to tell me. No doubt about it. There's too many people here. How many people do you think it takes to do 5,300 trades? 10? 100?
A few of them there.
Probably a couple thousand, a few thousand people. Probably. I mean, not everybody's buying it 2 and 3 times. There's lots of people buy their chunk and they're waiting. So there's lots of people there. So Twitter has got to know. No, they don't. There is no information on GTII today. I'm reading stuff that's on the fringe of bad news, not good. And it's like, why is there so much attention? Now, there could actually be a court document I haven't seen. Every company, when they make some changes, have to go to court. And the court documents are released, but they're not released here on the OTC. They're released at the Secretary of State. And there's 50 of those. And if you don't want to get an account at every one, check every one every single day, you can go to certain sites like Filings Re, I think it is, like $40 a month. You can get all the court dockets, all kinds of information that you can't get in other places. They do all the gathering for you. So there could have been a court document. But my point is, this is here where I come to find stocks that are running anything in the hundreds. And, you look over there at the share volume and you say, my God, that's a lot of shares. There's another one, BYOC. They just did a reverse merger with Electric Built. They are change of operation. They're doing a whole new business right now. That was a couple days ago. I do believe I even talked about it. It's lingering. There's no new news, but obviously there's some excitement about it. I think it was because of a boring day. There just wasn't a lot going on today. Another one here is Gamer. I did talk about Gamer. Gamer is doing a lot right now. They just came out with Micro Buddies. That's what it is. They got Minecraft. Most of you know Minecraft. They got that and they put it on Roblox platform, which is, I think, the biggest gaming platform in the world now, I think, and it's brand new. And it's working through NFTs, blockchain, metaverse, and Micro Buddies is their game where you can actually mine for crypto during the game, a goo. And it's a big deal. It's a big deal. You actually get to experience it in an immersive way. These are new games, and man, gamers love anything new, don't they? So that took off yesterday, and it's still running today. All right, enough blabbering on my end. I see we got people.
We got to that's asking about if we've already covered it, which we haven't, for CYBL. We haven't touched on it this week. Are they genuine? Are they blowing smoke? They continually kill SP with Pink Limited nearly every quarter. So, and you're going to find that a lot.
Filings do cost money. If you see a company that's late on their filings, they either haven't got a good accountant or they can't afford it. Those are normally the two reasons, or they got something to hide. So there's never a great reason to be late. And if you are late, a lot of times they will file a NT form over here, right there. NT 10K. Just think of the NT as not. We're not filing our 10K. And this is going to be real short. It'll tell you their excuse normally.
We're not filing it.
Just put a form. Let's see if they actually put their excuse in here. The registrant undertakes responsibility. I can't even see an excuse. Normally, they'll give you a reason we can't afford it, blah, blah, blah. Then they'll also tell you, and I don't see that here either. Oh, there it is. The registrant takes responsibility to annual report no later than 15 days. And they talk about the 5 days. Filing the NT buys you 5 more days on a quarterly. And it buys you 15 more days on an annual. And the stupid thing is when a lot of companies file these, and I see companies do this habitually, as he was just saying, they just keep going back to Pink Limited. Yeah, it puts us on the edge of fear. Then you get this up and it says we're going to file on time, but we're doing 5. We need 5 more days. And the stock runs on a not 10K.
Yeah.
It runs. And it's like, well,
and that's the end of that. They don't even care when it gets filed. It won't do anything.
And then the financials come out in 5 days and it's already run on the NT.
Yeah.
Is it really
and it'll probably sell off.
And then it goes pink because it's pink limited. They finally got their filing in. So I wonder sometimes if it is a game. But I don't see that here. I don't see them saying we're going to have it filed within our 5 days. There it is. Will be filed on or before the 5th calendar day following the prescribed due date. And that was what, today? Oh, hell, John. God, look at that. That's 2011.
That's old. That's real old.
All right. Well,
the attorney letter is the last thing I see.
Right. Well, where's their annual?
Why would they have that old
attorney
stuff
letters
up there?
here? You only need an attorney letter with a 10K, with an annual report. And normally it's not even a 10K. You need an attorney letter with a disclosure, because a 10K and a 10Q are normally done by a CPA. He's licensed. He's giving you actual factual numbers. Disclosures, they're done by management. They're just done by the management themselves. So we just got to take their word for it. So they have a lawyer look at it, and he's not verifying the numbers. He's verifying everything else, the people, the addresses, all that stuff, bank accounts, whatever. Yeah, it looks good. Once the attorney letter goes in, then the annual report is accepted. So I see a quarterly here for June. I see an attorney letter for April. What do you got? Annual. So they got their annual in here, right? They had to re-amend it, got their attorney letter in, had to redo so that looks right. And that was 10 days ago. It normally only takes a few days to approve a disclosure or a 10K or an attorney letter. It doesn't take them 10 days usually. That's when things aren't right and they're getting a letter being told, you got to give us more information. You got to tell us this too. So they'll do it again.
I wonder what that chart looks like.
Well, let us find out. Well, did we see any news over here?
Nothing besides attorney letters.
Cyberlex released second quarter financial, releases first quarter financial, announces share repurchasing. There's something we want to hear.
There we go.
Well, we can see their revenues here. A record revenue of 8.3 million, net income 2.9, which jumped from 6.2 and 1.2. So we do see they are making more income on a regular basis. They're not filing on a regular basis, but their money is growing. What do we got here? Share repurchasing directs 19.5 million of current future cash flows to fund the purchase of outstanding shares. Well, that's great. What was the share count on this puppy? Oh, boy.
Huge.
Yeah, there's 4.7. Well, if you go for 19, what did he say? $19 million? Is that what he just said?
No,
yes, 19.5 million. Well, look at the price. So you can get 100 shares for $1. So you just add 2 zeros between after 19 million, you're looking at 1.9 billion shares. If he was to buy them right now, that's how much roughly would come off of that float, which is about 1/5. So it is substantial. It's going to bring that down big. It's still a huge number, but it's going to bring it down big, which gives more value to the shareholders. It's going to be dincy value, but it is more value, and it does show that the company's doing something. That is one of the best things a company can absolutely do: buy their shares back. That is the best way. I was reading a whole article about how this got started, and companies that do it right do it all the time. They do it all the time, continuously, as they're on the stock market, and they just keep shrinking their share structure and putting more value into it. So that is a great thing to see. All right, let's go check Sybil out. So far, Sybil looks good. The bottom line is Sybil's making money. And as long as she's increasing her revenues, that means they're working. They're doing
currently
something
on a downtrend, which that could be just from the past couple of days in the market too.
Yeah, we had a high bubble there on the 15th, about last week, just last Friday maybe. She had a nice run. You could see she was excited about something back here. When did this come out? That was the 1st of the month. Did we have any news? No, we didn't have any news. All we've ever got are financial news, press releases, or late.
I know I've seen this one, or it's been discussed before. I just can't remember everything about it. Right. But it's definitely got a lot of retail chatter on it. I do know that.
Sybil. Yeah,
I can't remember why.
it was a while ago. Sorry about that. It
That's
was
okay.
a while ago that we actually looked at Sybil. Let's see if this
Yes.
stirs my mind. Sybil Corporation is an advanced digital technology platform company leading the digital transformation. Cyberlux LED lighting, government, industrial, business,
It was
digital
the government
transformation.
contracts or something, I think, John. I think that's
Cyberlux.
what it was.
Yeah,
To do with that lighting.
without a whole lot of news there of telling us there's an acquisition finally. That was back in March of this year, announced the acquisition of Catalyst Machine Works to accelerate its unmanned aircraft solutions platform with the U.S. Department of Defense.
There it is. Okay, that's what it was.
So, and that doesn't, anytime you start doing business with or around or for government agencies, law enforcement, you're locking in contracts. You're getting yourself some steady money. Also announced his first major European government contract signing. So they're doing a lot of work here.
They're doing stuff.
Doesn't sound like they're blowing smoke. Why they're not filing on time, I don't know. They've obviously got money. They can afford to do it. I think they've got a bad accountant. I've seen that before. You will see people change their accountant after they've been late so many times. They just say, dude, you're not cutting it. The investors are pissed at us, and they don't even know you.
But that with the market, how it is right now, we have a downtrend on Sybil. And I was just looking at it. I mean, if you pull it up and then, you can draw it down, John. You draw it down, it needs to break above 0.0111 if it's going to, reverse back up. And it needs to retest it too. If not, it could come down some more.
Wow, I've looked at this a long time ago.
See,
see these lines here? These top lines and bottom lines. I'm going back. Wow. So I was looking at this all the way back in January of 2021. And she had a hot run back then. I'll bet you go back looking news. They were doing things with the government.
And the timing was perfect with that market, though. In 21, OTC was hot. So you can get that same news today and you're going to get 0.5%. It's just, so we're not in that same market, but is it still a good company or has potential? Yes. Would I go long? No, I'm not going long on anything OTC, but I'll play it.
Let's take a look at CLIS.
Sure, let's do that. We got a few more minutes.
Yeah, I was seeing what we haven't looked at.
Thank you guys for giving us some tickers to look at. We love doing this.
Yeah. I don't mind sharing, but I do that with you all week. This is your time to share with me. I get to find things that you put on my table. All right, what do we got here? Clickstream, most current news was today. Nifter launches talent advisory board and signs first talent agents for expansion in Asia and Africa. I read this today. I did. Nifter is one of their subsidiary companies. Pioneering several firsts in the NFT sector, Nifter will be launching an artist advisory board to ensure the company takes the interest of artists at the highest decision-making level in the company. This week, Nifter signed its first 2 executives to the NFT industry's first talent agent program, one in music and one in music streaming. They're in Africa. So they're doing something. And I know, a lot of us don't like to look at business in Africa or South America. We're only worried about America. Well, I'll tell you what, those are bigger markets than we are because they're virgin. They may not have the people we have, but they don't have the tech we have. Just introducing something new down there opens up an entire first mover market for these things. And they blossom fast because they've been doing without. They love to have, don't they? Nifter debuted as the first ever NFT art, sports, and entertainment marketplace. I just seen another company get out of NFTs today, which gives this company a bigger market now. Let's see what we got here for shares. Hey, I think that's the lowest share structure we've seen all day. 250,000. Wow. Clickstream should be making some money. Uh-oh. We got nothing on the annual. Maybe they just got started. Well, this is where our discrepancy is. Now, we do see expenditures. They are in business. They're just not making any money yet. But it doesn't say shell risk over here. So I don't know how long this has been the case. 32% gain today. I wonder why.
Yeah, they like the news. That news you were just reading.
There was a filing that came out today. This is going to just be about some shares for one person or another. Seeing here, nothing that should be catalytical. Their last 8K. What do we got here? Triggering events that accelerate or increase direct financial obligations. On May 24th, Discovery Growth Fund notified the company it was in default of a convertible promissory note dated on my birthday, November 17th. So that's not a catalyst either, is it? And their financials. So there's nothing there. And the news, that news is what's got it going. Seems everybody is thinking about that. Let's take a look at that chart, see if she's actually getting somewhere, or is it just a bounce? I'd like to see us growing stock. Okay, that's 3 years weekly. Don't get too excited.
Well, I mean, it can run. It shows you that.
All right, there's your 6-month 4-hour chart. So she got very excited back here on the 25th of last month. Let's see if there was anything going on that day. There's the 30th. There's the 24th. So it followed this. Launches the first talent agent program in the NFT sector. And this news is basically following up on that same sort of process right there. So that explains why she jumped on that day.
She got a little bump today from the same news, pretty much.
This is what we say in each one of these shows. First time you hear the news, they've never talked about talent agency. First time they do, boom, you get a giant jump. Now they just mentioned it again. Well, you don't get a big bump. You get a blip. So you get bump and blip. This is why you monitor the news. The problem is you got to decide, is this hot news or not? And the best thing you do is watch the volume. But you can see we had more bad volume on the sell-off than we did good volume. So just because there's a lot of volume doesn't mean it's necessarily good. You've got to see what the technicals are telling you. Is that volume being put to good use or bad use? Now, I am looking at my PPO right here and my ADX. PPO is the percentage price oscillator. This is very much like the MACD. I introduced these tools to myself about 4 months ago because they create patterns that help me to know when to get in and out of a stock. And one of those patterns is when the top blue line is coming down and the red line's coming up. Price is falling. And when they start going apart, the price is rising. Guaranteed. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. That's just the way it works. Now, there's lots of other patterns that do the same thing, but those are easy to see. And right now, this is starting to churn up, and that has just started to churn down. So it does look like she is changing direction, and she's going to start to grow. That looks good. We've also got a crossover on our MACD right now. Very slight, but it is on top, and our RSI is pushing up. Let's just look at that 5-day, 5-minute. Wow, she's right under the 200-day SMA. You can see that 10-day, it's actually a 9-day, is squeezing up to that 200-day, and it will squeeze these bars until they're just like that. And that tube of toothpaste there will punch it out one way or the other. And you'll be able to tell which way by looking at your technicals. Are they weak or are they strong? If they're strong, there's a strong possibility you'll get on the 10. And what do we always see on this show? As soon as they get on top, like right there, look at the size of those price bars and how big did they get when it got on top of the 50. Boom! Price bars become adult size. These are kids. That's an adult. Well, you're going to have a giant. As soon as it gets on top of the 200, you see a big bar. So we are waiting for this. It's like it's setting up right now. So I'd keep my eye on CLIS. They're doing stuff. They're doing new stuff. And they're doing it in NFTs, which have gotten a bit cool here lately as the metaverse has, because, hey, the world's got situations. Games aren't all that important. Collectibles aren't all that important, but they're still out there. And one day, things are going to get back to normal. So if you get yourself some positions in the right companies with the right share structure and the right management, you could come out on top big time. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it could. It depends on the market, too, as we move along this week and what's happening. Usually the OTC doesn't care. But if we don't have the volume, it's not going to run like it did before.
Right. You've got to have volume. I mean, think of it as a water hose. If you have a little trickle coming out, it's tough to get that water, even if you squeeze it, to go too far. But the harder it comes out, the further you can push that. And that's what we do. The volume comes and we push it. We see that flow of water coming and we get right behind it. And that's why it has to come down 50%, because we over push it. we overpush it. And that's really what trading is about, knowing when to get out before it's overpushed and it falls. And your technicals, charting really, folks, is how you're going to trade. The catalysts are identifying what to trade, but how to trade, those are charts. And over at Penny Boys, we do a lot of charting. We got some serious charters out there. I'm not a serious charter. I'm an average charter. I
just dropped the link for Penny Boys as well in the comments if you're
Great.
not there.
We'll have you over there, folks.
And I think we got a couple of new ones last week from that. I'm so glad y'all joined us and reached out to me. Yeah. So it's good to see y'all in the chats.
We talk about stocks, but like I said, we do a lot of live streams in our Discord group, and you can see how they chart, and they'll talk it out. They'll show you their patterns. They will show you the tools they're using, how they're reading the bars, where they see the lows. And the more you familiarize yourself with it, the more you're going to see it on your charts. And that's where you're going to start making more money, because you'll be trading with confidence. You won't be hoping and guessing. You'll be making decisions. You'll be making plans and following those plans. And that's how you make money, following a plan.
So before we leave today, guys, I'll give you a little nugget, and it may be good, it may be bad. Keep in mind the conditions of the market right now. So APRN fell to $4.15 in pre-market this morning. Now, right now, it's sitting at about $4.31.
Where was it before it fell?
Oh, it's been a runner, John. Like, it keeps popping off and coming back down.
Mm-hmm.
So it fell from the past 10 or so days. We topped out at $8.22.
Okay.
Now, what I'm looking at is if it can hold that low that it made this morning of 415. I think anything under $5 is good for APRN when it comes to the play when it comes to the shorts. It is being shorted, you guys. So if you happen to see volume come into this one, it starts going back into an uptrend, keep your eye on it. I'm not putting an official call out. I just want your eyes on it just in case, because it has a lot to give. Or if the short part, because they're trying to short it down again, if it's not working out for them, it's going to be kind of ugly. But if we don't have the volume in the markets, that's why I want you to be kind of selective. Keep an eye on it. Make sure it's not breaking down, that it's consolidating or holding this level between 415, 430. I would love to see it stay above the 430 right now, since it's already dipped. I'd like to see it stay above that, but we'll see. I had some of the information on it though. Hold on, I wrote it down. Let me look.
Yeah, we're looking at the chart right now.
So it has a price target of $9 to $12, futuristic, of course. But if any news comes out or anything, any type of volume chatter, Reddit's on it. There's a lot of retail chatter about it. So just keep an eye on this one, because it could try to push back up. But be patient with it too. It may not be the right timing right now, because currently you can see it's in a little bit of a downtrend, right?
Yeah, she's been in a downtrend, and she has been bouncing up and down. I mean, there are bounces in there to make money, but it's not a growth stock yet.
No. This is only a technical play. When you see the breakouts, volumes coming in, take the trade. Get in there and get out. But it keeps doing this. So far we've been holding in that 4 range. That's usually been our dip before it starts building again. But we are, since the rate hike, it may have changed things a little bit. So just be selective, but keep your eye on it.
All right, we are just a wee bit over. We'll go ahead and call that a day.
I think we did good. Thank y'all for joining us. The link to Discord's in there. Come see us. You get in there. It's a free section. You got to accept the free disclaimer, and then you got to accept the OTC role. And if you do that, you'll see John, you'll see me, and a couple other shot callers we have in there that we all get in there and talk about stocks in different plays.
Yeah, folks, we honestly, we would love to have you over there. Your thoughts help ours. You've got eyes, you've got ears, you're bringing stocks to us. The more people, the better. And then we get to share, alerts. Hey, did you see right now? God, isn't that what you want? Someone to tap you on the shoulder and say, look, here's one. God, that's great. And then, of course, you get to watch the charting. The charting is, I'm telling you, folks, it's like a free meal. If you can have someone actually show you charting who knows, and we have professional charters. I'm impressed. I'm professional. Huh?
So I'm
What?
professional.
See, I told you we have professionals right there. We always have a professional on
I
this
love
show.
what I do.
And we'd love to share with you that. So come on over. And between now and then, we're going to be looking for you. And then we're going to be back here Thursday next week,
Next
4
Thursday.
o'clock. And bring your tickers. And I do put up this link early. So there's a few of you that can't make it here. I know you watch it afterwards. The question, the comments area is up early. So if you have a question about a stock, you can put it in there before you go to work at 9 in the morning. And when we get here, it'll be waiting for us. And when you get home from work, I'll be talking to you on a recorded message. So it's like, wow, this is great. You're going to love it. I promise.
Put John and Lily to work. Anyway, y'all see my new puppy? Ain't she pretty?
Oh, I took off my glasses. I was wondering what that big brown thing was.
It's my hair, John.
I was jealous of your new beard. Oh, is that a spaniel?
Well, it's a Boykin spaniel. Yeah.
Boykin.
Ain't she beautiful? She wants y'all to buy.
Iowa.
She wants y'all to buy Chewy. Buy Chewy. No, I'm kidding. I hadn't looked at it. It's just funny. Anyway, guys, y'all take care. See ya.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.